Learning to get and stay sober can be one of the most overwhelming things that you will do in your entire life, if not the most overwhelming thing that you can do. And that is why it can be so difficult, and why so many women and men, but women give up so easily, or not easily. It's hard. Why women give up? Because it's so hard. And so we're going to go over in this video how to break it down so it doesn't feel so overwhelming and difficult to learn how to get and stay sober. It is a learning process. It is not easy, as I mentioned. Hi, I am Kate. I'm going on 10 years sober. I'm the author of the Addiction and Alcoholism Recovery Skills for Women book series. This pink one is the first in the series. They're being used in rehabs, by therapists, peer recovery support groups, etc. And I have also created something that goes alongside it that will help you very much if you let it. All the details are in the description below. So we're going to go over a framework that you can use to help you with this. The first one is one tool at a time. Now that can be hard because there are so many tools that start to just get thrown at us, and there are a lot of people in recovery communities also who can really complicate the recovery process. I did get sober through AA early on, and the program of AA is actually quite simple, but there are a bunch of people in the room who are just really complicating it, and it can become very, very overwhelming to navigate those personalities. So the first thing is one tool at a time, because when our brains get overloaded with decisions and rules and things we have to follow and changes. Maybe we are moving into a sober living. Maybe we're going into rehab. Depending on your level of your problem, there can be a myriad of changes. So the overwhelm, it can be staggering, really. And so um, a lot of times when we get in that situation, we look to our old way of finding relief, which was alcohol or drugs. And so it becomes very triggering. The whole process of learning to get and stay sober becomes very triggering. So we want to try one tool at a time. You can think of it like scaffolding on a building, right? So we want to build the first level, and my first level was booking a therapist. And then I learned, oh, that's not enough. Okay, so I'm going to start learning about AA and how to go to AA and where meetings are. And so so break it down. So if you want to go to AA, just for example, where are meetings? That's one thing. That is one tool. Where are meetings? One. Boom. If you can check that off, amazing. Two, what times can I do? Amazing. That's a second tool. Boom, you did it. And then you start showing up to the meetings, and then you start learning and you're reading the book. And so just one thing at a time so that you don't become overloaded. Your brain, it's called a cognitive overload, and your nervous system just spazzes out and goes back to your old coping mechanism. So you're just going to break it down one thing at a time. Okay, so now we're going to move on to number 2. There are 4 tools in this framework. We're going to move on to number 2, which is to commit to a time frame. Have you heard the phrase one day at a time? You'll see it like this, hashtag one day at a time, ODAAT. Now, for me, this was too much. One day at a time was way too overwhelming. So I had to break it up 1 minute or a thing that I was doing at a time. So this kind of calls back to the first tool for me was I had to just, okay, what is in front of me right now? So if I wake up in the morning, okay, what is the next thing I need to do? I need to open my eyes. I need to turn off my alarm. And that was one thing at a time, one action at a time. And I would stay sober through that action. So for me, that's how I committed. I committed to just staying sober through the next action that I took throughout each and every day. And I did that for like 6 months. So some people, one day at a time works. For me, I had to break it down even smaller. And then some people can say, okay, I'm going to make it through the next week. It depends on your drinking patterns and habits, or using patterns and habits. So I'm going to make it through the next week, or I'm going to make it to the 30-day mark, and then I'm going to reset, and then I'm going to make it another 30 days. So commit to a time frame so that you don't think that you need to stay sober for the rest of your life, and that this is a life sentence that you have to commit to. That can feel very overwhelming and daunting. And then some people, I've heard, this didn't work for me either, but I've heard a lot of people say, okay, I'm not going to drink today, but I can drink tomorrow. I can leave it for tomorrow. And then just say that to yourself every morning, so that in effect, you're not drinking every day because you say that every day. I'm not going to drink today. It's there tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, but right now, today, I'm not going to drink. And a lot of people find that to be very useful. It kind of aligns with the one day at a time. And I know that a lot of people find that to be very, very helpful. Sorry, that little thing distracted me on my iPad. So another thing that I would highly recommend that you do is that you, okay, technical difficulties. Okay, number 3 is to track results. So the way that I like to do this, and I find to be the most effective, is to track our mood through gratitude. So if you do get this book, there's a free gratitude journal that comes along with it as an extra. And you can track your mood and your gratitude through that, or you can just set something up yourself where you write down at the beginning of the day how you're feeling, and then you do your gratitude practice, and then after, which is 3 gratitudes, and then after, you write down how you're feeling. How did it change your mood after you went through and you thought about the blessings in your life and you really reveled in them? And to do this every day as you go through your committed time frame, and you can actually go back and you can see the progress that you're making, because the progress will feel slow, but that it just piles up on top of itself until one day you just have an amazing breakthrough. And it happens. Don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. You can also do this through tracking wins. So what might a win be? Making it a week sober. So sober time. Maybe a win is getting out of a bad living situation. And maybe you wouldn't have been able to do that had you not stayed sober and practiced tools that people were suggesting to you, and then followed through. So maybe, that would be a huge win, and you can revel in that, and you can track those things as your progress, and it will help you with the overwhelm, because you know that you're on your upward trajectory. And it doesn't look like this. It looks more like this. Lots of ups and downs in the beginning, and then one day you have that amazing breakthrough, which comes about right here. And then next thing you know, you're all the way up here living a happy, sober life. This part, is painful. It's rough. It's so rough. And it lasted about 6 months for me. So again, quitting sobriety is hard. It is hard. You can do hard things. And once you acknowledge that, you commit to that, you muscle up, and you know that you can do hard things, and you know that it will get better. Know that it will get better. Maybe you don't know that. It will get better. It gets better and better and better. It can get unbelievably amazing if you stick with sobriety. We're going to recap quickly. So the first tool, or the first part of the framework, is one tool at a time. And then the second part is committing to a window of your sobriety For me, it was one action at a time, just do my best with the next right thing. And I'm going to do that next right thing sober. The third one is to track your results so you have something to look at so you can see the progress, because you might not feel it day to day. And the fourth thing is, once you've really and truly tried a tool, one tool at a time, once you've really and truly tried that tool, are you going to keep it because it worked? Are you going to modify it? Or are you going to pass and then move on to the next tool if you haven't already felt comfortable with adding another tool? I couldn't go back because I had the technical difficulty and had to switch to a different app. That usually doesn't happen. I usually like to recap, and I'm sorry about that in this video. Okay, so for the next video, I'm going to recommend something here on the screen, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you're working on staying sober.